Bro, what you doing?
Hey, so we bought this mast cable. It's basically an insulated Anchor cable made specifically for boats. And this is a 14 gauge 5-strand cable, and it's just going 10 feet from here to the panel. And this will be basically permanently installed to provide connectivity to the mast. And then every time that we pull the mast out, we just disengage the connections from the mast up. I had this in here before, but the wire I had was not an appropriate wire for marine. So these are tinned. If you the wire itself is I don't want to call them rust proof because they will rust eventually, but they're made specifically for marine boats. And I think this is good for like negative something, and it'll still remain somewhat flexible. So there's some good specs on the wire as well. And it's already tinned, so if I wanted to solder it, but there's some studies that show that as long as you do a proper crimp, the connectors won't come off. And they're just as strong as a solder joint. These will never move, so there's no reason to be too panicky. And then I just like using a vise. I give it a little extra crimp right on the end. And then that seals the deal for me in terms of these will never come off.
What's wrong with the one that you have right now?
This one's it kind of like it's old, so it doesn't. I don't suppose you can tell that, but the tip comes out of alignment.
Oh yeah.
So when you crimp it, it's like not quite a straight crimp. So I always go back over it with the pliers, and then just give them a tug. And these will come off, and then we heat shrink for good measure all of the connectors. And then once these are on, I'm just going to install these for the spreader light, the mid light for when the motor is on, the running light. So I guess that's mid running light. So that's the white light facing the bow halfway up the mast. And then I've got the anchor light all the way at the very top. And then I've got an extra for something that I haven't used yet. I've ran a wire under. There used to be a vanity light that you could turn on under the mid light shining down, but I ended up removing it. It was an incandescent bulb and some ancient thing, so I just never replaced it. And the idea being is that that's actually where I want to put a camera. So I'm going to put the red on the camera, and I'm going to put the for the camera power, and then the green, the white, and the blue are going to be for the mid light, anchor light, and deck lighting, spreader lights. So those are all good. Just use the heat gun. Thank you, David, for getting that plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the elasticity on the heat shrink is double. So whatever size it is, it gets cut in half. I might need your help actually pulling that white one up, and I'll shove that down at the same time. Examples. This is a 90-degree tool set, headset. This is why we need this every once in a while. Works perfect. Hooking up the mast wires now. David's doing that. He's excited, I can tell. Bought this boat with very little. Had no working engine, no instruments, and I gutted it. I pulled the engine out, and then I decided to go electric. So I put an electric motor in, and had a whole learning curve about that. So I learned about batteries and charging systems and wiring and house banks, all the different solar panel and monitoring systems. And that's what this channel is about. It's about sharing the knowledge that I learned, documenting my journey as I retrofitted this boat. I'm looking forward to next year. Next year I'm going to be taking the boat out to the coast and to the ocean, and I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully you can follow along and join me. Hey everybody, so another day of sanding. I've got the shop vac hooked up to the sander, and I'm hoping that this makes less mess. Pain in the butt, but making progress. Stay positive. Oh. So I sanded everything down, the big stuff with 80, and now I just went over it again with 220. I can see I've got to put a little bit of filler still, F26 over here. When you go with the light on the side, you can kind of see like where the crevices are on things. You see this here looks pretty good. You see, you kind of go on the side, and then you can see where right there's a line, but that's a sand line, so it's not bad. Oh, see, there's a divot here, right there. There's some holes over here and gaps. Anyways, that's what I use the flashlight for, because my eye can't see it until I put the light like right on it. So I gave this panel here a rundown on 220, and over here in the corner I actually forgot to sand this, and I painted everything. I couldn't see it because it's with the white, you just can't see it anyway, but anyways, I realized there were some lines, so I sanded that down, and then I gave this a 220. So I'm just going to retouch this panel, and this panel here with the Interlux bright side. And then David and Jill are coming up to give me a hand with the skim coating. So I'm done sanding now, so I'm going to skim coat the rest of in here. Very calm right now. 3 minutes.
Okay. So what you doing, Dad?
I'm putting the skim coat down of the F26 compound. This is the first skim coat, so it's trying to cover up all the little imperfections in the fiberglass as much as we can without putting too much down.
Yeah, and Mom's just mixing.
Mom's doing the mixing. Yeah. Alright, soap dispenser. Now I'll get the faucet in. I like this flexible one. Sometimes it's a little bit not aiming right, but it's not one that pulls out or pulls in. It's just a single. And I'm trying to remember now. Closed. I think this is closed. Open. I think that's how it works. Closed. And then when I want it out of the way, I can just lift it up. But the water pump does have enough pressure to shoot this up into the air like a water fountain. So, but that's good, like that. And now I'm going to get this Jabsco water pump going. First cup of tea, courtesy of a Jabsco water pump installed with some nice Anchor wiring, cooked on the induction cooktop, and water bag. Picked it up and looking for leaks. I just need some sun, some warmer weather. Tea's nice today. So I'm just going to stop this here now. Just went underneath 19% according to the calculations. Voltage is at 50 volts. It's been a steady decline. I'm getting 50.02 on the battery monitor, and then